We're on the spot with the Bureau of Missing Persons. This is Bob Anderson of the National Film Board. Every police department has the problem of finding people who disappear, little children who get lost or run away, bigger children who leave because they can't stand the problems of school or home life, and still bigger ones, grown men and sometimes, though less often, women, who disappear, leaving their families and their jobs and their debts and all the concerns of their regular lives. Now, this makes a lot of work for the police departments, particularly in the larger cities, where most missing persons seem to show up at one time or another. In the film that we're about to bring you, we're going to show you Montreal's Missing Persons Squad in action. A lot of people who disappear are never found. Many of them are, of course. Some disappearances seem to be carefully planned. Other people seem to act purely on the spur of the moment. Most of the stories are pretty somber. Some of them have their funny side. I still like the one about the groom who came out of the church with his bride on his arm. It was a windy day, and his hat blew off, and it blew around the corner, and he ran around the corner after it. And as far as anyone knows, he's still running because he didn't come back. Most of the work of the behind-the-scenes work of the Bureau of Missing Persons is connected with problems of domestic relations. Husbands who leave their families, go away, have to be brought back on court orders, and searches that sometimes end in the river and in the morgue. This is the story we bring you as we take you now to Montreal to join Fred Davis and the Film Board crew.
This is Fred Davis speaking to you from Montreal. It's early morning, and the people of the city are leaving their homes and heading towards the offices and the factories. Another day has begun.
Bye, honey. Hurry or you'll miss your bus. And don't forget Mrs. Beaulieu's dress in the dry cleaning.
No, I won't forget.
Just another day, with its mixture of good and bad. There are the little things, like buying the morning paper from Johnny on the corner, paying that overdue bill, remembering to tell your pal Harry that joke you heard last night at the card game. And the big things, like knowing that you love and are loved, knowing a home, children, security, a place in the sun. All these things we take for granted, as every day we leave for the mundane tasks of earning a living. Yet, can we be so complacent? Did you know that of all those people down there in this city, over 3,000 of them disappear every year? They simply walk away in the morning after that hurried cup of coffee, or go, they say, to visit a friend or relative. And then they vanish. They lose themselves in the faces of the crowd, in the 1,001 concealments of a big city. They leave behind them the tragedy of an unanswerable question. Why? What reason could he have had? In this week's on-the-spot assignment, we hope to acquaint you with the story behind these missing persons. However, I'd like to warn you that you can't sit back smugly and say, oh yes, missing persons. Oh, well, it can't happen to me or anybody I know. The people we're talking of come from every level of society. The beloved husband and wife that you've always held so dear, the doctor, the accountant, the mechanic, etc., that you've known so long. And it can happen to you, dear wife. What does one do when this happens? When the one you hold most dear vanishes, and all your life, sureness, and stability vanishes with them. At first there's panic, doubt, despair, and then you look to the law, to society for help. In Montreal, you take your problem to number 333 Champ de Mars. Number 333 Champ de Mars in the Municipal Court Building is Montreal's central police station. It is, in effect, a focal point of society, a depot of humanity's troubles. As you walk down its halls searching for the Missing Persons Bureau, you discover that all the things you've taken for granted in a big city, peace and orderliness, are not there naturally or easily. They have to be achieved, maintained.
Yes, I was there. I didn't do it. How did you arrive on there? I was there at 2 o'clock this morning.
In contrast to cases of holdup, extortion, rape, even murder that take place in a big city every day, your problem of a missing person may seem insignificant. Behind every file that arrives on the desk of Lieutenant Bill Phillips of the Missing Persons Bureau is a human or social tragedy.
Be in touch with her.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I know that your wife has left you and left the children there. There's nothing we can do unless you get a warrant. Unless you get a warrant.
Vanishing acts, desertions, seductions, abductions, amnesia cases, etc., parade through Lieutenant Phillips' office each day. To each case, he brings much more than just straight professional competence.
No, I can't recommend a lawyer. No, it's against our rules and regulations. No, look in the yellow pages of the telephone book. Yeah, you'll find some there. Now, as soon as you have the warrant signed, let us know. Eh? Thank you. Goodbye. Excuse me a minute, please. Yeah, Phillips speaking. Yeah, would you send to 10364 St. Catherine East? Yeah, I have a warrant against Georges Poirier. 13621, yeah, that's the number. Yeah, the charge is assault. Now look, we've had trouble with him before, and he tried to get the back way, or in fact, he did get the back way. So would you cover the back, yeah? Okay. And you let me know as soon as you have him, man. Okay, thank you. What can I do for you?
I want to report my son-in-law missing, sir.
Your son-in-law, well, I'm very sorry. You can't report your son-in-law missing. It has to be his wife. Is his wife here?
Yes, she's right.
I'm his wife.
His wife. Well, how long has he been missing?
He's been missing 10 days now.
About 10 days. Well, why did you wait so long to have him to report him?
I had hoped he'd come back any time. He's done this before. He stayed overnight, but he's never been it so often.
I see. Well, have you any idea why he would leave home?
No, I have no idea at all.
Have you any financial trouble, any debts?
Oh, we had debts. Of course, when we got married, we had to buy our furniture on terms, but that's all.
I see. Well, do you owe much money?
We do owe quite a bit.
Well, is your husband working?
He works on and off, but he doesn't keep a job very long.
Yeah, but when he does work, does he earn good money?
He told me he did, but actually he doesn't because I found out that.
Yeah, well, how many debts have you got?
Quite a bit.
Well, who do you owe to?
Oh, this and that, and of course, the doctor's bills. I'm in a family way right now, and they add up quite a bit.
I see. How long, you're pregnant, how many months?
3 months.
Well, what do you want us to do?
We'll go out and get him, do something. I just can't go on this way. I need some support. I can't work in my present condition.
I'm only a working man. I don't know much about the law, but you should do something about it. Arrest him, or...
Well, the law does provide a charge on support in these cases. But would you be willing to sign a complaint against him? And would you be willing to appear in court against him?
Well, of course I would. He should be forced to pay. He just can't go ahead and leave me in a spot like this. I won't stand for it.
Well, how about it? Do you still love him?
Love him? After all this? I try to be a good wife to him. I just hate him.
So you really hate him?
Of course I do.
So then you must love him.
Well, how can I love him and hate him?
Well, there's such a fine line dividing love and hate. It's pretty hard to define it. Since I've been here in this office, so many women have passed through here, and they usually hate them the day previously. And once we've arrested them and put them in cells and brought them in front of the court, then they love him and they want him out of this scrape. So are you still sure that you want to sign a complaint against him?
Don't you worry, I won't change my mind, and you won't see any tears shed when I see him locked up.
And you, madam, what did you think about him?
Non, monsieur, j'ai jamais trouvé cet un garçon pour ma fille.
Well, in that case, I guess we better make out a missing persons report, and I'll give you the necessary papers to go to court.
This human approach to the implementation of the law is more than just a whim of Lieutenant Phillips. Behind it lies the realization that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and also that there is a very real relationship between his work and that of welfare agencies. I know you're busy, Bill, but have you got a moment to spare?
Come right in.
Thanks. I've just been talking to some of your men, and I wondered how this work affects you personally. You know, when you hear these stories of broken homes and misery and heartbreak, doesn't that sort of get you down?
Well, no, Fred, it doesn't get me down, because this is a different type of police work. It's absolutely different from any of the other squads. And I personally get a lot of satisfaction from trying to help people in their problems. And we certainly try and solve them for them.
Yes, but day after day, 24 hours a day.
Well, I don't know, but I think I'm very well built. I can walk out of this office here and forget the whole thing. Otherwise, I'd be probably looking as thin as you are and as worried.
Well, we've got more time. I'll tell you why I'm thin, Bill.
Well, I'll try and help you out.
Now, about these missing persons, just exactly who are they?
Well, Fred, about 60% of these missing persons are runaway husbands who run away because they can't face their financial responsibilities and usually leave their wives to face the music. Most of them come back, and those who don't come back, well, we go after them and bring them back.
Well, apart from these husbands, who would make up the other group?
Well, Fred, there's the lovesick girls who run away with their boyfriends, and there's the other girls who think that they're ill-treated at home, and they leave and try to make their own way. There's the students who, excuse me.
Voici un autre rapport de la morgue.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Fred, this is Henry Desjardins, one of our investigators. Henry, this is Fred Davis.
How do you do,
Nice to
sir?
meet you, Mr. Davis.
Nice to meet you.
There's nothing else?
Nothing else, Henry. Thank you. Yeah, where was I?
About the students who run away.
Oh, yeah, well, there's the students who flunk their exams, or they think they're going to flunk their exams, and they... Excuse me. Hello. Yeah, this is Phillips. Oh, yeah, you got that fellow, eh? Yeah, well, no, don't take him to the station. Bring him straight down here to me. Yeah, okay, right. Where was I again?
Well, you mentioned the lovesick girls and the students who are worried about exams.
Oh, yeah. And then there's the English boys who run away probably as far as Vancouver, and then there's the French boys that don't go quite so far, probably as far as Three Rivers.
Oh. I see. Well, this phone call you just received about the fellow they picked up, what's he involved in?
Well, Fred, this is really a real missing person. We've been looking for him for about 18 months. We had him up here on a charge of non-support, and he was out on bail, and he never showed up for his trial. And we've tried 2 or 3 times to pick him up, and this time we haven't.
Will I be able to see him?
Yeah, he'll be here in about 10 minutes.
Oh, fine. Well, then that'll give me an opportunity to go and see the Identification Bureau. The Identification Bureau is where an arrested person is brought after he's booked. Here he is photographed and fingerprinted. In its files can be found some 70,000 criminal records and 150,000 sets of classified fingerprints. Here's another one for fingerprints.
What is your name?
Smith.
First name.
Conrad.
How old are you?
29.
Ever been arrested before?
No, sir.
You ever had your fingerprints and picture taken?
Never.
Nowhere, though?
No, sir.
A photograph, a form, a fingerprinting may seem a waste of time, but to the police, they are invaluable in the compilation of a case. Some missing people, when they're picked up, have previous criminal records or a past which they don't want to disclose. In many cases, a photograph may serve to identify a missing person. This man, for instance. He was picked up last night in the park, mumbling incoherently. He doesn't know where he lives. He doesn't even know his own name. A case of amnesia.
Well, Fred, how you getting along?
Very well. This is quite intriguing over here.
It sure is. Excuse me a minute. Take him up to the fingerprint.
What did he do?
That's the chap that we had picked up by the radio car when you were in my office a while ago when I called up. Yeah.
Bill, these amnesia cases, do they happen very often?
Oh, quite often, but they're usually fakes.
Are they? Why is that?
Well, they're usually covering up something, and we usually find out what it is, though.
I suppose you don't have any trouble determining whether they're legitimate or not, eh?
No, we question them, and after a while they usually trip themselves out.
I noticed these curious-looking masks over here on the wall. What exactly are they? Death masks or faces of criminals you've picked up?
Not exactly. These are 7 basic faces from which we can make a composite photo of a criminal. For instance, you'll notice the chins are all different. The mouths, the noses, the eyes and ears, the haircut, the hairline. They show a general cross-section of the human features.
But where do you get the information about the features?
Well, the witnesses usually describe the features. They give us characteristics such as a large nose or big ears or a weak chin and or a crew cut, and from that we can usually build up a fairly clear photo. But we don't use this much in the Missing Persons Bureau. This is more for the criminal side, seeing that the family usually furnishes a photograph of the missing person. Yes?
Le mandat que vous m'avez demandé ce matin.
Merci beaucoup.
Depuis, il y a une dame River qui est dans votre pièce, ça vous attend.
Not again. Oh, boys.
Trouble, Bill?
Trouble. Follow me, Fred, and you'll see why policemen go great.
Okay.
Lieutenant Phillips, montant de vous collecter $1 pour les dessins.
Oh, ben oui. This is a collection we take up when any of our boys die.
Oh. Bill, this case I'm going to see, just what's it all about?
Well, it's a case of a fellow goes out on a binge and beats up his wife and disappears. She signs a complaint and we arrest him.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Well, you'll see. Come on, Fred.
Okay.
Want to sit down there?
Thank you.
How do you do, Mr. Reback? You're back here again?
Yes, sir.
What can I do for you now?
I want to drop the charge against my husband. He came back last night, and we had a long talk together, and he promised to be a good man from now on.
What do you mean, Mrs. Reback, coming down here to withdraw your complaint again? This is about 5 times you've been down here, and all for the same thing. It's impossible for us to keep on withdrawing your complaint like this. You'll have to appear in front of a judge. That's the only way we'll have him withdraw your complaint. Phillips. What? What did you say? Oh, well, I can't understand you. Hang on a second. I'll try and get somebody to talk to you. Hold the line. Yeah, hold the line. That's right. It's some foreigner here. I think it's a German or a Ukrainian or a Russian.
Oh.
And I can't talk with these other languages. Only French. So we have a linguist here. Yeah. George. Yes. Would you have Charlie come in? Well, now, the only thing to do is to bring that husband of yours right down here, have him here at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we'll take him up to court, and the judge will decide if you're going to withdraw your complaint.
I'll bring him.
Yeah, you better bring him. Now you see why I'm going gray, eh? This is one of our regulars. Every month regular she's here, and she's one of a dozen, and always doing the same thing. Charlie, would you answer this party? I don't know what language it is.
Hallo. Ja, ik spreek het Duits. Ja, ik kan die zeer goed verstaan. Ja, Ihr Mann...
Well, we mustn't think that the Missing Persons Bureau deals exclusively with runaway husbands or wives. There's a much more gruesome aspect to their work, because a simple, routine missing report may turn out to be a major tragedy, a murder, a kidnapping, fatal accident, or suicide. This is why 443 St. Vincent Street is a familiar address to the men of the Missing Persons Bureau. Number 443 is the city morgue. Although a visit to the morgue is a grim task for the average person, to investigators like Sergeant Roland Brunette, it becomes just another part of the day's work. In this case, the morgue report had revealed the possibility that the deceased could be one of the Bureau's missing persons. Sergeant Brunette is here to verify it.
That's a woman, all right.
Bill, do you usually begin your investigations here at the morgue?
No, we check at the hospitals, the jails, and then finally in the morgue. And if either of the places are successful, we start our full investigation then. You sure, Roland, that's the woman?
Yeah, according to the picture.
Yeah, well, in that case, I'll take over and I'll notify the relatives. I want you to go down to St. Helens Island, and I've sent the equipment down there. Chad jumped off Victoria Bridge, and you probably will pick him up. That's right. You'll go right away, eh? Thank you.
Where is this happening, Bill?
It's in this little island just opposite here, not very far from here. And by the way, we're using all that equipment I was telling you about. You should go down and see that.
Oh, yes. Have they recovered the body yet?
No, not yet.
I can go along with Roland then.
Yeah, sure. He'll take you down.
The recovery of bodies from deep water and swiftly moving currents has recently been facilitated here in Montreal by the adoption of techniques developed in World War II by the famous frogmen. Well, I certainly don't envy him his job.
Well, someone's got to do it, summer or winter.
Well, what connection has the suicide got with the Missing Persons Bureau, Roland?
Well, we had a report of a missing man. He was playing cards with his family, and all of a sudden he gets up and run out of the house.
Oh?
Sometime later, a motorist saw someone trying to climb over the railing of the bridge up there. Tried to stop him, but it wasn't in time.
Well, then, how do you know it's the same fellow?
Well, the description fits pretty fair.
Oh, I see. Well, now, couldn't they search anywhere else in the river? Why did they pick this particular place?
Well, from previous experience, whenever someone jumps from that span of the bridge, the current always brings them towards this place here.
Oh, so you know it's a pretty good idea. You'll find them approximately here, eh?
A fair chance.
Well, does the body always stay on the bottom? I noticed him diving down again.
Well, they'll usually stay underwater for a period of 2 weeks or so, unless there's a thunderstorm that'll bring them up to the surface.
You mean just because there's thunder, that'll automatically bring the body up?
That happens.
Is there any reason for it?
Well, it's just one of those things, I guess.
Well.
This is our mobile laboratory. You see, it contains searchlights and gas, the walkie-talkie. It's even in communication with headquarters at all times of radio.
Oh? Well, then, what is it doing down here at this particular location?
Sergeant Burnett, there's a message for you, sir.
Lieutenant Detective Phillips, call here at 43rd Avenue in Bozeman concerning a search for a missing child. Lieutenant Phillips wants you to bring that TV commentator with you.
What was all that about, Roland?
It's Lieutenant Phillips. It seems there's a three-year-old boy missing there, and they've organized a search, and they want you to join in.
Oh, I see. Apparently these mass searches are quite impressive. Lieutenant Phillips has told me how he enlists the aid of hundreds of people, Boy Scouts and police cadets, so that will be our next stop.
Police cadets are ready to go, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Will you pay attention, please? We're here to look for a small boy about 3.5 years of age who is missing in this bush here somewhere. Now, he's got a red mark on a coat and a blue hat. You'll line up in the usual manner, and we'll start forward. So will you line up, please?
Okay, everybody move.
Spread out about 5 feet between you there. That's it. Keep on spreading out. Right out. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, you spread out there now. Come on, go right ahead. Start ahead. Start walking. Okay.
Hello, Bill. Got
Hello,
here
Fred.
as soon as I could. How's the search going?
Oh, not too bad. We've got it pretty well concentrated down in this corner now. Yeah.
Any report coming in?
Nothing yet, sir.
How's number 1 making out?
Hello, number 1? Any news yet? Still moving in, eh? Okay.
Anything on number 2?
Use this walkie-talkie to keep in touch with the men?
Yes, we do. Leo, any news?
No news yet.
No news, eh? Yeah, we keep in touch with them. We have walkie-talkies in the line, you know.
Hello, 2. 2, come in. Any news yet?
Is that the boy's mother over there?
Yeah, that's her. That's the mother. If it wasn't for her, boy, we would be home now.
Oh, why is that?
Well, she let the child play where she wasn't supposed to, and she didn't tell us where he was in the first place. And
she didn't?
No, she didn't. She was afraid of getting help from her husband, I suppose. So.
Oh, he'd told her not to let him come in here.
That's right.
Oh.
One number 10. You've got him? Yes. They got him, Bill.
They got him?
Yes.
Yeah, well, listen, ask him how he is.
Oh, is he? He's all right. He's okay.
Well, tell him to bring him in and tell him to tell the other ones all to come in.
Hello, bring him along and tell the others to come along with you. Everybody with you.
Okay, boys. Well, okay. They found him. Come on in, eh? Yes, they found him. They found him all right.
That's it. Bring one up here.
Make a bit of room.
Oh, you open up a bit to let them come through? Here they are. Okay, bring one up here. That's it. That's fine. Bring one up.
Are you sure he's all right?
Certainly he's all right. And you're lucky that he is all right. If you told us in the first place where he was, we wouldn't have all this trouble. You would have had him 4 or 5 hours ago.
I'm awfully sorry. I realize it's all my fault, but thank you very much anyway.
Oh, it's all right. Go on home. Go on.
Okay, boys. Thanks ever so much. You've done a very, very good job. Thank you. The transportation is up the road. Thank you very much.
Well, Bill, I guess it's a relief to have another successful case on the books, eh?
It sure is. And I tell you, if it wasn't for these organizations, such as the Boy Scouts and the police cadets and many others, we'd have one terrible job here.
I suppose so. Well, I certainly appreciate you letting us in on this and all the time you've given us in showing how the Missing Persons Bureau operates, Bill.
Well, you're quite welcome, and any time you're down this way, you can drop in. My door's always open. Business or pleasure.
Good, I'll remember that. Thank you. Now this is Fred Davis saying goodbye to you from Montreal.
You've been on the spot with the Bureau of Missing Persons of the Montreal Police Department. This specialized squad is just one part of a network that covers the whole continent because all police forces cooperate in the search for people who disappear. Railway police are useful helpers in the work of the Bureau of Missing Persons. They watch the railway stations and pick up the strays who hang around when they come into a city with no money and no place to go. Foresters and organizations like the Boy Scouts also help in a very useful way in the work of finding people who are just lost. But it's the people who want to get lost who are the real problem. And the men of the Bureau of Missing Persons could wish that more people believed in the old adage, there's no place like home. On the Spot is a production of the National Film Board. The film was written and directed by Bernard Devlin. Photography was by Roger Morid, the sound by John Locke, and the narrator was Fred Davis. The film editor was Marion Meadows, and the supervising editor, David Marovich. The producer was Alan Stark, and the executive producer, Robert Anderson.
Ça veut dire beaucoup plus.